You are talking to the Diamond Marco Hendrixx, the baddest man in the game. And today, I got my double shot of gin and I'm drinking at Moe's.
This is Drinkin at Mo's, where we talk about the pros of pro wrestling in the Midwest while sipping on some brews with blessed beers and wrestling. That's my scene. Death matches and lucha libre, it's also mean. I'm a straight up smart goofball, not no kiss ass. I stand tall when it comes to wrestling. I'm the king. I know every move, every fling. Get ready for a wild time with Drinkin at Mo's, where we don't quit. Drinkin at Mo's, that's where it's at. Like a power bomb, we hit hard, never flat. Fucking right, we're living the dream. Talking about wrestling, always a scream.
You know, I've always said here at Drinkinatmos, just because it says drinking at Moe's does not mean it has to be alcoholic. So I'm happy to say Drinking at Moe's is sponsored by Prince Nana Coffee. The exact same guy you see every week on Dynamite, on Collision. Yes, he has his own coffee, and it's freaking delicious. They don't even roast those beans until you've placed your order. And you might be telling me, hey, Big Mo, I'm more of a tea guy. They got you covered there too. Use the referral link in the description of this video. And let's get you dancing like Prince Nana with Prince Nana Coffee. All right, everybody. Welcome to Drinking at Moe's. Big Mo here. You know the drill. YouTube. Destroy the like button. Share, comment, all that good stuff, because YouTube's algorithm is a pain in the ass. Where most places you can find the audio podcast too. Don't forget about those. Today, I'm excited to have with me. He's going to be coming back in the frame. There we go. Diamond Marco Hendrixx. How you doing?
I'm doing good, big man. I'm doing good.
Doing good. All right. Yeah, I've been having some good stuff lately. I got a show I'm pretty excited about here local to me, here in Omaha, Nebraska, that I'm looking forward to this Saturday as of recording. And yeah, it's going to be a good time. One thing I am looking forward to, I don't get to spend as much time with my own dad lately since we live in two different towns now, but the big thing going on here in Omaha right now, the College World Series, the men's College World Series for baseball. And my dad happened to get tickets to this last Saturday's night game. And as of this recording, tomorrow night's night game. So I get to go share that with my dad. So that's going to be a good time.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Nice little Father's Day, like late Father's Day thing.
Late Father's Day thing. Yeah, I got to celebrate this year. My wife and I having a almost 6-month-old son, so it was a good little time.
Hell yeah. You get your first tie?
Yeah, no, I didn't get a tie. I did get some good stuff. My wife knows me very well. She gave me a big bag of my favorite flavor of Doritos. That purple bag, the sweet chili ones. Oh, I could tear through a bag of those like nothing. And when it comes to hard liquor, I'm a whiskey tequila guy myself. She gave me a bottle of my favorite tequila, so I made good there.
Hell yeah. She sounds like a good lady taking care of you.
Oh, she is. This tequila is so smooth. You put that stuff in a margarita, you're gonna need to be careful after about 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, so damn smooth. But anyways, Lord knows I get on some tangents on this show every now and then. But the first thing I like to start off everybody with when they first come on the show, what got you started as a fan, and then what got you deciding to make the leap into the business?
Man, it was it was random. It was real random. Like I think I just fell asleep on the remote weird because my dad was mad at me. I accidentally bought a pay-per-view.
Oh no.
Yep, yep. But when I woke up, it was Cyber Sunday and
Oh,
Batista versus Undertaker.
oh boy.
Ever since I seen that, man, I've been locked in because I love Batista. I love big guys doing big guy stuff.
Oh yeah.
And my boy Undertaker was going crazy. Like one of my favorite matches to go back and watch even to this day.
Oh, hey, when you have a memory tied to it like that, I mean, I can understand that. I know. I mean, it's not a for me. The first ever pay per view I ever got to watch as it was happening was actually WrestleMania 20, and it's not like a hated pay per view, but it's not like when people talk about like the greatest WrestleManias of all time. WrestleMania 20 isn't one that people often talk about. But for
They
me,
should though. Ain't that the one Eddie when Eddie won the title?
that's the one where Eddie retained against Kurt Angle, that spot where Kurt Angle tried to put the ankle lock on and Eddie slipped out the boot and yep.
Yep. Yep.
Undertaker, he made his return to get his revenge on Kane after helping bury him alive. So some good storylines in
Yeah.
that Mania.
Yeah, I'd say it's an underrated show. I think it should be talked about more.
Oh yeah, I mean, for me, that particular one, I think, gets kind of shoved to the background. It's sad because of one of the participants in the main event.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll definitely get a WrestleMania event stop talking about.
Yeah,
We don't gotta say his name, but we know
yeah.
who we talking about.
Anybody that knows about that situation knows what we're talking about. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, it's it's crazy. I was watching WrestleMania 21 yesterday with my lady. She watches wrestling, but she don't be all up into it as much as me. But it was he who shall not be named was in the Money in the Bank match. And she knows the story behind it. And she was like, it's just really weird watching him wrestle. And then halfway through, he does the headbutt. And she says, do people ever just watch his matches and say, that was probably the hit that did it? And I'm like, I feel like that's how most people watch his matches nowadays.
yeah. How you know what I never thought about it, but you know what, I can see that. People watching back his matches now and be like, yeah, that's the one that did it.
Yep, that was probably it was probably the one that got him, but
Or one of those like, I swear, for some reason I remember him doing stuff off of a cage, one off of a cage. I'm like, oh God, looking back, I'm like, that did it.
Yep, every time.
Every damn time. But going back into when you first started getting, like, making the decision to get into the business, you went over, excuse me, I love my Dr. Pepper, but it gives me the burps like crazy. There we go.
You good, brother.
But getting into when you made the decision to get into the business, like, always locked in after that Cyber Sunday. But everybody has that final time where they're like, man, there's this place near me, a good training school. Might as well jump into it now.
So I tell this story because I've told this story to my friends, the people I train with. Like, we always like, yeah, what got you into wrestling? Like, what got you to like actually make that leap? And they always say I sound like a hater because I'll be honest. I was watching. It was when I got back into it. Everybody like leaves wrestling because they outgrow it, and then they end up coming back. At some point. And I told them, I said, man, I was just watching one day, and it was after I was done playing football. I was done with college football and everything. I was just looking for some new outlet, and I saw The Miz.
Nah.
And I said to myself, man, all respect to him. But I said, man, I'm more athletic than The Miz. And I can talk. What? Like I might as well give it a shot. Like if he can do it, I can do it. That was my mind frame.
Yeah, he definitely. I don't know. I've often said when it comes to, like some of the greats, like the all-time greats, it's like they could make you love them or hate them just as easy. Yep. Miz, it seems weird for. No offense to the Miz, but it seems weird for me to talk about him in that light because I mean, to be quite honest, he can make you love him or hate him just as easy.
Yep. And again, that's not me taking a dig at the Miz. That's not me saying, "Oh man, like I'm better than him" or none of that. But like I'll be honest, I've watched him for years, and I've said, man, I could do that. I could go into a room of 300 people and make them all hate me. I could go into a room of 300,000 people and make them all leave saying, man, I really think that guy is Diamond. You damn right. And I hate you too. So now I'm here.
Oh, I've taken kind of a similar stance. Again, not a knock at this particular person, but I've jumped into commentary a little bit. I'm trying to get more spots, but I've modeled my commentary after another fellow seems natural goofball, Pat McAfee.
Yep.
Like I try to bring the same energy that I would if I were just sitting in the crowd, trying to get somebody to crack. Because when I'm in the crowd and I find my opening, oh man, I will say some off the wall thing to get somebody to crack. I've gotten one. I actually got somebody at an AEW Collision taping where it was right after, literally the Saturday after Toni Storm made the comment about Mariah May slapping the tits off her opponent. Well, Toni Storm had a match on that Collision, and I was like second or third row right behind the announce desk. And they were in the corner, and the crowd had died down just enough to where I yelled out, "Slap her tits off!" And Luther just like, what the? I went back to watch that one back, and it happened during one of their damn picture-in-picture moments. I'm like, son of a bitch. But I'm rather proud of this one because I got Mike Bennett at a show once. I got him one time where, again, crowd died down just a little bit. And, the Kingdom was really going at the time. So they yelled. I couldn't help myself. The crowd had died down, and I just yelled out, "Adam!" And Mike Bennett you could tell he was looking down, and you could just see the look on his face like he was trying to hide it, but he looking like, you son of a bitch. And then I got to talk to him after the show, and he's like, dude, you popped the hell out of me. I'm like, yes. And at the commentary booth, same energy. The one time in particular, there's some backstory on why I don't mention the particular promotion anymore. But they were talking about the second show. It was like a debut. And they said, my commentary partner said something about it being looking like it was going to be a solid second show. I couldn't help myself. I just said, yeah, because nobody likes a runny number 2. And he had to stop. He was like, God damn it.
I love a good commentary booth, man. I love a good commentary booth. Because when you're making your clips and you're making like, hey, I done beat this guy's ass. I done thrown him around the whole time. And then I'm like, man, I don't got to add no music to this. I don't got to add no music. Because the commentator done put me over and let it be known that, yeah, I'm that guy. Like, I love a good commentary booth, especially when they say something like funny, because it makes my video even better. Like, it makes the video like pop even more. So,
oh yeah, even more of a reason why good commentary is so important.
It is because even like JR back in the day, like he made those moments. He made those moments even bigger. It's just like when you watch sports, like watching other sports, like football. I remember watching Alabama versus Auburn when they took that kick 6 back. And the commentators going crazy. Like, it made that moment like, oh, man, I want to get up out my seat. I don't even care for Alabama or Auburn at the time, But it was a crazy moment, and it always makes it even more. Makes it grander.
Now, getting back into wrestling, when everybody has – words are hard right now. Wow. When it comes to training, there's all sorts of stories on, especially that first little bit, because it's definitely a bit of a weeding out, a feeling out process. Who's going to actually stick with it? It's notorious for how hard some people make it. And hey, it actually needs to be that way, to be honest, because you want people that are actually going to take it seriously.
Everybody should wrestle. Not everybody should wrestle.
Yep. Nope. There might be a spot for everybody in the business, but it might not be the active in-ring part of it. Yep. But for you, what was training like, and getting that, where you're figuring out how your in-ring persona is going to be, because there's stories out there of, when people are getting started, some promoter gives somebody some wacky gimmick. They're like, hey, we're going to have you do this. Like, even I think Bret Hart had a story of somebody wanted to make him a cowboy or something. What was that first bit like for you, that origin story, for the lack of a better term?
Man, I feel like my origin story was kind of just my story, like I've always kind of felt like, my character's really just me. It's very cool when because I don't want people coming to the show and like meeting me outside the show and be like, well, that's just not you. That's just not you. The only thing I faced that was like hard is I smile a lot. So when I tell people, yeah, I'm the bad guy, I'm not a guy you're supposed to cheer. They're like, well, I want to cheer you. Well, I'm gonna tell you fuck off like when we have the show. So I mean, be ready for that. But Like it was just me. Like it was a lot of it was just me, and it was how to like bring myself out on a stage like that and be comfortable with it.
Mm.
Because I think that's the scary part, really, like, is being able to like be yourself in front of a crowd of like even a crowd of 10 people.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to be yourself. Sometimes
Oh
it's
yeah.
hard, like especially when you don't know them and they might, call you these names, call you, like they
Yeah.
tell you they hate you, all this stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, dog, like,
Mhm.
and it's just that's kind of where it was like breaking in that the hardest part for me was feeling comfortable with it. And I kind of got
Mm.
into a mindset because I did play football. Like I played football for like 10 years. And I've always looked at it as like, hey, it's rivalry game. I'm
Mm.
going to the opponent stadium. I don't like them. They don't like me. So why the hell am I going to try to make them like me? I might as
Oh
well
yeah.
make them hate me.
Mm.
So,
I get, and those ones that tend to like one of my all-time favorites, Stone Cold Steve Austin, said that Stone Cold was just kind of him turned up a notch. And it's like those personas seem to be the ones that really resonate with a lot of crowds because they can sense that authenticity, that it's not just something that somebody said, hey, here, we're going to have you do this. Like they can tell that you're really into what you're doing.
yep. Yep. I see a lot of and that's the hard part is because like some people like, yeah, like I get it. You can't be you because it's hard to say, but some people just aren't that interesting. Like, and it's not knock on them. It don't mean they're not good people. It doesn't mean they're not like a good person or whatever. But them themselves, they just not like they're not that outgoing person. They're not a life of the party, or they're not like
Yeah.
they're a fly on the wall, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fine. So they have to find themselves in a different way. But I think those characters that like Seth Rollins, like Stone Cold, like Triple H, Shawn Michaels, like when you're able to be you and authentically yourself. Damn, that gin done got to me. Authentically yourself. Like the crowd gets it. They get
Yeah.
behind you because they can see themselves in you a little bit. They can see, like I watch Mick Foley all the time.
Mm.
Love Cactus Jack. Love Mick
Oh
Foley.
yeah.
You know why? Because guess what? He looked like he just got off the couch and started wrestling. He looks like he was a wrestling fan his whole life and said, fuck it. I'm going to go jump into some thumbtacks. I'm going to go jump off this stage, And that's the stuff I
Oh
like
yeah.
to see.
Oh yeah. And that, I've always kind of gravitated towards those intense personas. I mean, yeah, when I was younger, it was, there's still some intense personas, but now it's funny for me because some of the people when I was younger that quite frankly scared the crap out of me, now watching them back, I love them. Like, oh God, maybe dating myself a little bit, but Bruiser Brody.
I
One,
love Bruiser. Love
dude,
Bruiser.
Bruiser Brody, watching him come into the ring, swinging the chain around, scaring the crap out of some kids and stuff. Like, dude, I love it.
Yo,
And
I love that stuff because like the crowd was getting out of his way. And like it's so real because yeah, I see a 6'7" dude with some steel chains waving it around. I'm gonna walk the other way. Like, what you mean? He got this steel chain, he waving it around. He gonna go in and fight that guy? That guy don't stand a chance. That guy does
oh,
not stand a chance.
like I remember hearing the story of, I believe, one of who became the Undertaker. One of his first matches was against Bruiser Brody. He talked about Bruiser knocking the ever-loving crap out of him. And I'm like, dude, I love hearing that stuff, man.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Like, some of my personal favorites right now. I mean, I think he's underrated right now, but I actually, up top, where I have like a whole bunch of signed wrestling figures, Lance Archer. His entrances back in New Japan, very Bruiser Brody-esque. In my opinion. Then you got guys, over in Japan like Tomohiro Ishii. That guy, I love him because, especially when he has a title on him, the look on his face just tells me that whoever's standing across the ring from him is going to have to damn near kill him to take that title away from him. I love it.
Yeah.
Now, with some of the places that I've seen, advertised on, different places on social media for you. One, I've seen some stuff for Midwest Wrestling Coalition.
Yep.
So for them, what I like to do, with a lot of people, because I'm loving it, that even as far into this podcast as I am, I'm still learning about new promotions, new places. For those, this might be their first introduction to you and maybe even Midwest Wrestling Coalition. What do you got going on there?
Right now, I'm just climbing my way up the ladder. Climbing my way up the ladder just like everybody else. Trying to beat people up, throw them around, make the crowd know that I'm the baddest man around. That's kind of the same everywhere. Like I'm about a year into wrestling. So a lot of it is going to places and making that stamp. I wrestled down in Heartland Championship Wrestling a lot. KCXW, place that trained me. Very, very good promotion. I go there and just letting them know who I am. Like that's really how it is. I want, whether you hate me, love me, you like, man, those suplexes, those diamond plexes were cool. Or, oh, I hated this guy because, he spit in my drink. Like, I want you talking about me by the end of the show. I want you saying, I want to see that guy again and what he's doing next.
Oh, yeah. No. Because people often say wrestling, people might not necessarily remember the moves that somebody did, but they'll remember how the person made them feel during and after that show. They'll remember stuff like that where they're like, dude, that guy was crazy. Man, that guy was an asshole. I want to pay my money to come see him hopefully get his ass kicked.
Yep.
Stuff like that. Now, another place I saw that I know of these guys, but it was interesting because I believe it was on your Instagram where there was wow. I told you I got a nagging cough right now. But Fountain City Pro, there was, I believe it was a sponsorship ad or kind of for them where you were holding a bag of chips in front of a Chiefs mural.
Yep.
Now, Fountain City Pro, they've been doing some good stuff from what I've been seeing.
They have.
Yeah, I know. Some people from up here in the Omaha area have been going down there every now and then, but the Chiefs mural kind of caught me because I have in-laws down in Kansas City that they live like an exit away from the stadium. So like I'm down there periodically. Hell, I was just down there a couple weeks ago when the Savannah Bananas were playing at the Royal Stadium.
Yeah.
That was a fun time. But Kansas City is one of the spots that, you know, for people outside of the Midwest, they don't really. I like to think that the Midwest independent scene isn't as slept on now as it has been, but it's still, in my opinion, if you're outside of, let's say, Chicago, the Chicago, Minneapolis area, you know, that line, if you're outside of that, the independent scene in the Midwest is still kind of slept on.
It is. It is. It's really slept on. And I hate that it is, because the one thing I love about Sound City is they bring guys in. One thing I love about like St. Louis Anarchy, they bring guys in. You know, like I go to Windy City Pro, they bring guys in. And I wish that the Midwest wasn't as slept on, because we got some really good wrestlers that you don't got flying. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
Team Double Stuff. I don't know if you heard about my boys, Team Double
I've
Stuff.
I've heard of them. I want to get them on.
Yo, hey, stuff me, brother. Hey now,
there we go. I didn't know I got it. We got it done.
But yeah, those are my boys, and they are taking over. They're gonna take over the tag team division. I think you put them on any show, they'll steal the show as a tag team. You know,
I love
and
tag team
the
wrestling.
thing about Midwest, I do too. I don't get to do it a lot because I like to work solo, but I love to watch it. I love when I do get to be a part of them. But there's so many guys out there like Luke Langley, like guys that are like Gary J, guys that are Camaro Jackson, like
yeah.
so many guys like in the Midwest that I'm still like, man, that's on my bucket list. I want to go against you. I want to go against this person before you even have to fly somebody in. But it's crazy because I wish the Midwest would get popping a lot, because I feel like it's the perfect place to be a hotbed for wrestling. Because I ain't gonna lie, it's hard to fly. It's hard to buy tickets to get guys from New York, like Florida, Kansas, Texas, all to go to like California. It's so much easier to buy tickets right to the middle of the fucking country, where, hey, it really ain't that much to get a ticket to Kansas City because there's stuff to do here, but it's not the big tourist destination,
Yeah. These spots, Midwest, when especially people don't really think of tourist destination during like the winter months. That's definitely a time people definitely don't think about coming to spot that in the Midwest. But Camaro Jackson, I believe, I've actually ran into him at least once when early on in the podcast, when they were still going by Warrior Wrestling, did a stop in St. Louis. He was there. I got to meet him because I got invited to be a part of the Fan Fest, and I'm gonna have to go back and look at this, but I'm wanting to say, heck, it might even be that show I'm going to this Saturday, and I could have sworn I saw he was going to be coming to that.
Yep.
So that's going to be fun. Oh God, Midwest Warrior Wrestling they hold a special place. I believe there's still periodically going by Pro Wrestling Ventures now. Nothing but love for that crew. But another place that I've become familiar with that I've seen the videos of you with a guy that I got introduced to through Fantastic League of Wrestling. A guy, I'm trying to remember the full name, but Fury. Some Fury.
James Fury?
James Fury. There we go. Yeah. Him, I got introduced to him through there. And, here, hopefully before the season finale, going to get him on. But I'm even going to, this episode isn't for Fantastic League of Wrestling, but I'm actually the podcast partner for them. They actually, for being podcast partner, they actually sent me the referee shirt, with the Fantastic League of Wrestling logo, and then even on the front, my logo.
Hell yeah.
Pretty slick looking. But every time I have somebody from the roster on, I'm actually wearing this. But lots of great stuff throughout the Midwest. It's like, man, people just sleeping on it because, especially Fantastic League of Wrestling, they're bringing in people from like Mexico, Canada, the UK, Japan. I want to say there's some other people getting to see what the Midwest is really all about.
Yep.
And I'm loving it. I'm loving that the Midwest is getting some shine because for the longest time, and I mean, yeah, it's understandable that, the West Coast and the East Coast and, Southeast has been, kind of the big spots for independent wrestling. Midwest has kind of been isolated over here. But now we're starting to get all sorts of great stuff. Big companies from like GCW even starting to come into the Midwest. I know they're coming to Kansas City soon. I've been telling them they need to come up to Omaha because I'm like, God dang it, for the longest time, I think the closest they ever came to Omaha was like St. Louis.
Yeah. I love GCW. I really do. I love GCW. I went there. Me and the boys went and we were training in St. Louis. And somebody said, yeah, GCW is going to be in town like this Friday. And it was cool because we were just down there. And then we ended up showing up. And it was just like, it was really cool to see. It was really cool to see because I also haven't seen like a lot of hardcore stuff like up close and personal.
Yeah.
I think it was Manser in the main event, and he was like, it was that light tube match, and they were going crazy. I was like, man, how these guys are sitting in the front row because that glass hit me. I'm not going to be too happy, but it was a fun show to watch. They tore the house down, like every single person on there. Like definitely a place I would love to go and be a part of.
It's one of those promotions that they, you hear about the really great promotions all being kind of a, buffet style of things. There's something for everybody. GCW, yeah, they have the hardcore, the deathmatch style stuff, but they have the high flyers. They have the technical guys that can put on just as great stuff.
Yep.
Like I've had a bunch of people on that have gone through GCW. I've even had one of my personal favorites on twice in John Wayne Murdoch, the Duke of Hardcore. I actually got one of his wrestling buddies from him.
Hell yeah.
The last I've had, before I go on too big of a tangent, I've had a couple what I like to call like a sense of validation moments in the podcast, which I'm sure, in the ring, at the shows, probably throughout your career, going to have some of these moments. But when I had John Wayne Murdoch on the second time, he told me he doesn't do too many podcasts anymore, but he'll do mine.
That's fucking
and
dope.
I'm like, somebody of that caliber complimenting me like that. I'm like, dude. And then the other one, my wife and I were with my parents and a couple of my side of my family at the zoo here in Omaha. And somebody recognized me at the zoo. Somebody at the zoo literally recognized me, like, oh, hey. And then my parents, and the way they looked and smiled, like, oh, man, that's pretty awesome. And, you know, how they had always thought before, like, oh, this little podcast that he's doing. But then seeing that somebody's actually recognizing me from it, it was like, dude.
Yep. It's always that sense of it's not even the fact that they like just saw your podcast. It's the fact that they remember you. Yeah. They remembered you enough to say, hey, I seen that video you did. You know, that's the stuff that's like, it's really cool. Cause sometimes I'll be at the bar like in like Topeka, because that's where I stay. I stay in Topeka, Kansas. I'll be at the bar and they'll be like, well, like I saw that video you posted. And to me, I'm like, damn, I didn't know people like were actually looking at it. I didn't look at the insights or whatever, the freaking like, oh, how many people viewed this or
the analytics and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I didn't look at none of that. And it's like, yeah, like I saw that. That was really, you know, like especially like the promos. They're like, oh, that was funny. I love what you said there. Like you was really going in on Buddy. And I was like, yeah, you know, like da 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 da. But it's really cool, especially when it's like, when it's people who aren't just like family or friends. It's people who are just like, oh, I recognize you. It's like, okay, I'm getting some reach. I'm like making a name for myself. It's a really, really heartwarming feeling. Last show I had, my friend's my girlfriend's friend, she brought her they're like her stepkids, you know.
Yeah.
She brought them to my show. And it was really cool because she texted me the next day and she said, yeah, the little boy, he changed his like phone screensaver to like a picture we had took together, like, you know, just flexing. I was the bad guy, but he knew me. So like he was like, and he was like, she was like, yeah, he's been talking about it the whole time, asking when we're going again. I'm like, I love that. Because I'm like, oh, you've never seen wrestling. And your first experience made you not say, oh, well, like, I don't want to see this again. Your first experience said, I want to go back. I want to go back. I want to see it again. I want to see what happens next. I want to see what's this story, that story. I have favorite characters now, and I want to know the rules. Like, that's the thing. He was like, well, why are they, like, counting out? Like, why are they counting to 10 every time they go out? Like, he's never seen it. So it was just one of those things. Like, I was like, man, I was really proud to, like, create a new fan, to help create a new fan, because
I can wow, that's something. I love hearing about stuff like that because, you know, especially on the independent scene, you're wanting to get more people out there. You're wanting to create those moments. You're wanting to have moments where somebody will be like, you know, looking back on the show, being like, man, I got to go see this again, and I got to bring other people with me.
Yep. Oh, freaking! I have a friend. He's never seen wrestling a day in his life, and really, he did start off as my friend. He was just my girlfriend's friend's boyfriend. So you know how awkward that can be, especially with somebody, you know, is a little like, you know, doesn't talk as much.
Yeah.
And I'm a talker. So I definitely was like, at some point, I'm like, hey, bro, you got Peacock? Look, I'm going to show you some wrestling. Because he was trying to talk to me about anime. I like anime, but I'd rather talk about wrestling any day of the week. I said, I think you'd like this. And I showed him, it was, what was it? It was a TLC match. It was TLC at WrestleMania 17.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yo, and I remember he got real quiet, and I said, "Hey, bro, how you enjoying it?" And he said, "Dude, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen." He said, "How have I never seen this before?" And I said, "That's crazy." He started getting into it. Like we got done with the match, and I said, "Oh, well, we can watch something else. I ain't gonna waste your time. Like, I ain't gonna just overload you with wrestling if you don't want to." He said, "No, no, I won't watch a new match. like show me another one, brother." I was like, "Hell yeah, I got another one, baby. I caught
All
him
right.
slipping."
Oh yeah. Oh man. I've had, even being pretty much a lifelong fan, I've had those moments with a few wrestlers where it was just like, holy crap. Like I had former Ring of Honor 6-man tag champ Dutch on, part of the Righteous. And I'm forgetting if it was part of me posting about having recorded with them, or if it was me having posted the actual episode itself. But all of a sudden, I get a Twitter alert on my way home from work, and I'm like, I didn't recognize the little profile picture because, especially on the Twitter alerts, it's like they're rather small. So I'm like, I'll check it when I get to a red light. Well, when I did, I about dropped my phone because it was Bray Wyatt liking the post.
Oh yes.
And I messaged Dutch right back. I'm like, because I didn't know it at the time. I'm like, you're friends with Bray Wyatt? And he's like, told me the whole story. I'm like, that explains so much right now. But yeah, one of those moments with a guy that I've always admired. I'm like, holy crap, he's acknowledging my show.
Yep.
That was some.
Yep.
All right. Now, like I said, I go on tangents. So before I go too deep into one right now, I have two categories here. First one's a bit of a name game where I try to theme it towards the guest as much as possible. So I name off somebody. You give me first thoughts that pop into your head about the person.
Okay.
And with you being a big talker, and I mean you can back it up. Each of these guys, wow. Each of these guys, big talkers, but they can also back it up. First one, a guy that, man, he has definitely proven to be somebody the fans have really gotten behind. Ron Killings. R-Truth.
Love Ron Killings. I love Ron Killings. Anybody who smokes a cigarette on live TV, that's my guy. Love Ron Killings. I wish they would just call him Ron the Truth Killings, but I guess we gotta still keep calling him R-Truth for some reason. But no, I love Ron Killings.
Oh yeah, I think they're acting like now that he's brought back. I'm like I've been hearing R-Truth, but then I've been hearing Ron Killings as well. So I'm like, I don't know which one. Like
what? One thing I'll say about Ron Killings that like I really enjoy is that R-Truth, Ron Killings, like is definitely inspirational to me because I ain't gonna lie, he doesn't look like his like your prototypical wrestler for reasons that we know. He got a little bit extra melanin, like got the braids in his hair, and like for him to make such a career out of wrestling, not being like, like he doesn't look like John Cena. He doesn't look like Hulk Hogan. He doesn't like for him to like, be with tattoos and to come out with the jeans and like, he does the dancing, but he like also like talks different than like everybody else.
mm-hmm.
I really love that about Ron Killings. I really love like how he's made his career because he's so funny, but he's so talented in every other aspect of wrestling that like it sucks that he's gotten it sucks that I love that he's had that role being the funny guy, but he's also always shown that he could do whatever you want him to do in wrestling. Whatever his role is in wrestling, he can do it and can do it well.
Oh
And
yeah,
like
yeah, like especially those early TNA days where being in the first black NWA World's Champion.
Yep.
So he's proven that he can play the comedy role, but he's also somebody that you cannot underestimate.
Yeah, because he could win the world title tomorrow. I wouldn't feel like he'd be a bad champion.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't look at WWE and be like, "That's your champion." You know what I mean? Like he is a top guy anywhere he goes because he puts in the work and he's just talented. Puts in the work and he's talented.
Oh yeah,
hard work needs talent. Great things happen
for sure. Next up, a guy that I'll admit I liked him more as a wrestler than I do commentator. But hey, his accomplishments undeniable. Booker T.
Oh, you're just gonna give me all the black wrestlers. All right. I love Booker T too. I love Booker T too. I do love
you
Booker
know what?
T.
You know what? I only got a handful of people on the list, not all of them black. So you know what? I'm gonna give you I got something for you. But Booker T.
All right, cool. I love Booker T. I love his commentary. Because the thing about commentary too, I think that like lacks a little bit in wrestling is that if Booker T is commentating my match and says, I like that guy, it puts me over so much because yes, it does put me over if you say you like me, or if Pat McAfee says he likes me, or if Michael Cole. But Booker T is a legend that's actually wrestled.
Mm.
So for him to say, yeah, I like what this guy is doing. Shucky ducky quack quack. Like it resonates a lot more with the with people that this is a guy to look out for.
Mm.
But I love what he's done. Only thing that ever makes me mad, it makes me mad because I'll get it at shows even before they see me start wrestling. Is I had it happen at a show recently. Somebody came up and said, you remind me a lot of Booker T. And I looked at it and said, what reminds you about me, about Booker T? And he was just like, well, I'm like, I don't do nothing Booker T does. So it does suck because as a black wrestler, you're trying to like get away from that stereotype. Because when I did start, people were like, oh, so you're like Booker T? I've never even thought my character as being I've never thought of the Diamond as being close to Booker T. That wasn't one of my inspirations. But I do respect everything he's done in the business. I love watching Reality of Wrestling. That's what it's called down in Texas. Like, they be having some really good banger shows that I'll catch some good matches for. But I do, and I love his commentary. I know people shit on it because they're like, well, he does all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, well, but he's funny. Like, I like it.
I'll give him that. He has his funny moments. There's times where I swear it sounds when he's like getting like, there's nothing wrong with getting really excited during a match, but I swear it sounds like the guy's about to have a stroke.
I want that though. You get so excited about my match that you finna have a stroke. Oh yeah, I must be cooking. You know what I mean?
I can see the logic behind that. But yeah, there's times where, I don't know. I guess for me it was more sometimes the moment that it's happening, I'm like, what the heck is going on with him? But hey, if he's getting excited and it gets somebody else excited about the person, about the moment, he's doing his dang job.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I can't argue there. Now, great talker and a great intense persona that I've mentioned that I like. My intense personas, the ones I really gravitate towards, Samoa Joe.
That's my dog. That's my dog. I love Samoa Joe. I love look, my girl. I know she laughing right now because she hear me talk about Samoa Joe. I love everything Samoa Joe does. Everything in the ring. I'm like, man, dude, like that's how I want to be. Like, I want to get to where you at, brother. Where like I step into the ring and everybody knows that this is gonna be a good match, and I'm gonna beat the shit out of whoever walks into the ring.
God. Man, the matches.
Joe always.
Oh yeah, the matches.
He's just.
Oh yeah.
He's a killer. He's a killer.
Man.
I like my wrestlers to be a killer. I need to know that you're willing to like break this guy in half for me to like you. You know, like he's just he's one of those guys that I always watch back and I'm like, man, dude, like just the intensity. Like I can't tell you. I'm a very confident man. I'll be honest with you. Very confident. If I seen him walk down the aisle, I'd be like, damn, I'm in for a long day. I still think I'll win. I'm in there for a long day. You know what I mean?
If I see Samoa Joe looking all pissed off walking towards me, I'm like, I hope I brought a change of pants.
Yeah. And he's really just like great at what he does.
Oh, like, that he is so effortless.
Yeah, and like again, it goes back to that authenticity. Because like Samoa Joe, like, yeah, dude, like, you know, I saw him talk on an interview and talk about him being like a theater kid. And I was like, man, I still think you would slap the shit out of somebody if they talk to you crazy. Like, I'll look at you much different because you was a theater kid. Like, I'm like, still, like, you still beat up fools on a daily basis.
Oh, God. Yep. Like the matches that I know, one in particular that he had with another favorite of mine, Tomohiro Ishii on AEW, where like by the end they were chopping each other so much that like both of their chests were practically bleeding by the time they were done.
Yep.
Man, just nuts. And then I mentioned effortless when it comes to Samoa Joe. That nope spot that he does, or somebody like diving off the top rope and he just turns around like, nope.
Well, that's what you should do. I see you jumping at me. I ain't gonna catch you. For what? Like, look, what have you ever had somebody run at you and jump at you? What you gonna do? I'm gonna get out the way. Get out the way.
Oh yeah, no. If I see it happening, yep, it's gonna be nope. I'm turning right around.
Yep.
It's created some crazy moments, from the meme of the guy literally in midair looking at him like, what?
Yep.
Dude, that's some great stuff.
I don't know why they thought he was gonna catch him. I don't know why they thought they were gonna get that move off. No, he was not catching up any day of the week.
Oh yeah. Now, last but not least for this category, I got a few of his figures right next to me here. A guy that, man, I can't wait till he makes his return from injury. Because, again, I like those intense personas. I like those killers. This guy, the very definition of that. Eddie Kingston.
Damn, you saying all these people I love. I feel like I'm giving too much praise. I love because I love Eddie Kingston too. I love authenticity. I love when you're like, I don't want to see you play like play a role. I want to see you be yourself. And like he just every time I see him, I'm like, man, dude, like you seem like a guy I'd love to get a beer with, but also a guy that I wouldn't like try to try to mess with either.
Oh yeah, no, definitely one of those guys that if you're in a bar and a bar fight happens, you're hoping he's on your side. You don't want to be on the other side of it.
No, because even if we lose, I know he got my back. Even if we go against some 100 gorillas or go against that gorilla, I know he ain't gonna be the one to run. That's the kind of guys I want by my side every time.
Exactly, and I just love that take no shit attitude that he has. I love it.
Yep.
That feeds into that killer mentality, that intensity. It's just like, yeah, you could be talking shit, but he ain't gonna take a damn bit of it.
Yep.
All right.
Can I throw in a name that I just want to heap praise on? That
Yeah,
I always, if I ever need like inspiration or just like a guy that like I love to just watch.
Absolutely.
Macho Man Randy Savage is the man. He is the fucking man. And like I tell me, like, I watch it with my girl, because that's my watching partner. I'm always gonna watch it with my lady, love her to death. But I always bring it up to her. I'm like, Macho Man's only 5'10". From what I've heard, he's not a big guy, but like he carries himself so big. Like he could be in the ring with Andre the Giant. And truth be told, I'm not watching Andre, this 7-foot guy. I'm watching Macho Man the whole time. Because he's just so charismatic and so like out there. And like I'm like, yeah, dude, I think you can beat the like I love a short motherfucker who thinks he can beat up the 7-foot guy. God. That's a guy I want on my team too. Because I'm like, yeah, bro, you said whether you gotta get it dirty or clean, you gonna go and fight this dude. And I love that Macho Man because he's also smart. The psychology he uses in matches to win and to like go against guys. I try to tell them like, bro, watch Macho Man, watch the things he does, like, because he's him. He's another guy that's him the whole way through. Bro, bell rings or ends. If he's in an interview, he's the same freaking guy you saw on TV that you saw like, in that ring the other day. And I love that.
He definitely had that personality that, he might have been a little shorter in stature, but that personality was like at least you would think that, man, he thinks he's like 10 feet tall.
Yep. One dude, I hate keep giving praise to the boys I ride with because it sounds like I'm just trying to put on the boys. But double stuff like Tobias Storm. Tobias Storm is the first 5'5" nothing guy I've ever met that feels like he's just as big as me. I'm 6'1", 230 pounds. When I'm in a room with him, he feels just as big as me. Same with Calvin Aldridge. Like he carries himself. I always make the joke. We always talk. I'm like, man, you about 135 on a good day. But I know if I get in the ring with him, he gonna wrestle me. He gonna go against me like he 200 pounds. He gonna think that he that big. And I always got, I gotta show love to the boys that I ride with because they my dogs, they my road dogs. But I do. Every time we ride together, I feel confident that I'm with guys that will put on a show. That will put on a show regardless where they're put on the card.
Yeah. No, I get that. That's good to have people with you like that because you want to have people that put as much into what they're doing as you do. Because it just feeds into a good time.
Yep. Because when we ride together, I'm not thinking to myself, thinking to myself, they're my boys, but I love the competition.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking to myself, I want to put on a better match than you guys. They've been wrestling longer than me. And sometimes I think I get them. Sometimes I think I get them. And then, I'll be like first match on the card. And I'm like, I got these guys. They can't follow up what I did. And I'll see them go out there and like tear it down. And I'm like, fuck. They was chanting your name too loud, man. Like, like, damn, you definitely beat that guy up better than I did. And so it makes me mad, but it makes me better because now I'm watching. I'm like, but it makes me feel good because they think of it the same way. Damn. The Diamond just put on this banger to start the show. I guess I got to follow that up. Like,
Yep.
So iron sharpen iron.
Definitely. Now, oh, wow. Next thing I got. Some random questions. Some wrestling related, some not. Some having pretty much nothing to do with anything we've talked about so far. I give you the question, first answer that pops into your head. First one. Craziest in-match moment for you?
It happened recently.
Yeah.
This guy did he told I watched his film. I knew he was probably gonna do it, but I'm thinking it's hard to do what Samoa Joe does, which is get out the way.
Yeah.
Because if I'm in a match with you and I see you do a backflip off a springboard to me on the outside, my first thought is, damn, that was really cool. And then I'm like, oh shit, he's coming my way. So that was probably the craziest one so far that I was like, especially like just dives. Cause I remember my boy did we were wrestling and he did a over the top rope tope front flip. And I was just like, it caught me off guard because in my head, I'm used to catching them. I catch them and, suplex them when they do the suicide dive. I didn't expect this little dude to do over the top rope, thing. So I'm sitting there looking at it. I'm like, oh, that was really cool. Oh, shit, he got me. And he, now I'm on the ground like dying and shit. So that was probably some of those are always the craziest ones for me. Those are always the craziest ones for me.
Oh, those would definitely fit. I've been lucky to witness a bunch of crazy stuff myself. You brought up Manser earlier. I've got to meet him a couple times, and back when the trio, the Second Gear Crew, was still going, I got to meet all three of them, and I got to tell them each the kind of joke that I had with them, that their matches might as well have been sponsored by Home Depot with all the stuff they got thrown around. They loved it. I'm like, yes. But their matches, especially when you're seeing them in person, it's like, here's your Home Depot match of the night with all the hardware getting thrown around. Yep. Crazy stuff. Now, okay. I'm not exactly a picky eater here. I mean, obviously. But I still have my foods that I'm like, no. What is the least favorite food of yours?
My least favorite food, beans.
beans, like green beans or baked beans or just beans in general. No beans.
I can tolerate green beans. Baked beans, to me, beans and bananas. For some reason, the texture,
The
I
texture thing.
I can count on my hands how many times, on one hand, really, how many times I've thrown up in my life. Two of them are from drinking too much. The other three are from regular baked beans and bananas. And I'm just like,
Mm.
man, and it sucks because I remember when I played football, you catch a cramp on the sideline, and you're like, oh
Bananas.
yeah, stretch me out. And they're like, oh, because mustard's another one. They're like, oh, we'll get the mustard and the bananas because it gives you potassium. It stops the cramping and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll tell them every time, bro, if you don't get that shit out my face, I don't want none of that. Please don't give me that. I hate, like, bro, now you got two problems because I'm cramping and I'm throwing up on the sideline because I don't want to eat that shit. Like, just stress me out. Like, I cannot do either one of those.
You know what? Kind of similar for me. One of my least favorites is kind of a texture thing, and it's more if it's just this by itself. Peas by themselves, just straight peas. No, I
don't know how
don't.
people do it.
If it's mixed in with stuff like a chicken pot pie or some like casserole where it's like mixed in with other stuff, it's like, okay, that's fine. There's other stuff
I can
in there.
tolerate it. I'm not asking for it to be there. I can tolerate it though.
I can tolerate it then, but peas by themselves, no. Don't even give them to me.
See, and that's what sucks because, like, love my mama to death. My mama's still the best cook I've ever met. Oh, my girlfriend listened to me. She's the second best cook I've ever met. But she always likes to add extra stuff into a meal that I'm like, damn, mom, you know I was looking at this meal the whole time. And then you added beans or you added peas to it. And I'm like, why you do that? Like, I would have added it. Like, if I didn't want that. Like, nobody in the house wanted it. And now she felt like she can't cook because me and my stepdad both looking at her like, well, I didn't want no peas in mine. But we got to eat it because, we got to make mama happy.
Yeah. But yeah, I can tolerate it if it's mixed in with other stuff, but don't give it to me by itself. Nope.
No, I don't know why you would. Like, if you tell me that if you bring in, you said peas. If you bring in peas to the cookout, I don't think you invited no more. Because why the fuck you bring that? Nobody.
Yeah, no, you're not invited no more.
I really just want some peas.
You don't go to a cookout thinking, damn, I'm really craving peas.
No, fuck no. Corn on the cob, yeah. Peas, no.
Oh, fuck no. No.
I can understand the baked beans, but why you put it on my plate? Like, no, don't put that on my plate. Now it's all running and touching everything. Pickles too. Pickles ruin everything. I know that's controversial. People love pickles.
My controversial one, and it's another texture thing for me, deviled eggs.
Oh, I can't do it. I understand people that do it. But don't put it on my plate. Oh, don't let it touch nothing.
My parents actually a while back got me to actually try one time because I'm one of those that, like, I will try just about anything once. And then if I don't like it from there, then fine, I won't have it again. Well, the one time they got me to try a deviled egg, just one bite, and I was like, I'm like, no. And now the thing that I'm even able to kind of laugh about it now, but the thing that makes it even funnier, My little nieces even give me crap about it. They'll bring one up to me like, "Here, try this." I'm like,
no,
get
get
that
that out
away
my
from me.
face.
Yeah.
I don't want none of that.
Oh,
Yeah. So and it sucks because one of our traditions when we ride together is we always stop at Casey's gas station. Everybody gets their food. Casey's has really good chicken sandwiches. I will stand by Casey's food. Yeah, they try to talk to me crazy when I say I love a gas station pizza or some gas station food. But
Casey's got
Casey's,
some good stuff.
it's great. But the thing that sucks is they put pickles on their chicken sandwiches already. And I'm a person that believes that pickles should always be served on the side. Because if I gotta take the pickles off, no matter what, pickles are so strong, you're always gonna taste them.
You've already contaminated it.
Yep, the whole thing's ruined. Like I can't eat it now. But if it was off to the side and I got to like make the choice of whether I want to put these pickles on or not, now we cooking. Now we cooking.
I got you. All right. Now, next question. What would be one of the first things you would get if you had what I like to call fuck it money? Like something you would get that you think, man, I'm never going to be able to afford this. Then all of a sudden you got the money where you could get it.
She gonna hate me because I've already discussed this with my lady that my first promo will be after I get my first paycheck. We'll be showing off that I bought my girl some new titties. And I'm definitely going. And to me, that's basically an engagement ring, because nobody else gonna see
It about
what I
cost
see.
as much as one.
Yep, so might as well. Might as well. You get a ring and you get to have them in the pictures, all the wedding photos. Oh, we going crazy. But yeah, because like we were talking about the other day, I'm not a big like. There was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy like 5 cars. I'll buy 2 houses. I'm like, man, I don't really need all that. I just need to know that my daughter gets her college paid and that I have money to be able to say fuck it and be able to do the fun things I want to do. After that, hey, it really ain't much else like you can buy me.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you there. I know for me, kind of a fantasy trip that I have, and it's weird. I think I don't know. Maybe I think I'm weird for even wanting to do this, but I want to go over to a wrestling show in Japan, and I've seen a bunch of these YouTube videos where the channels they go to those capsule hotels where like the really tiny rooms and stuff. Like go to a wrestling show in Japan and stay in one of those, but on the other thing to add to it, on the flight over to Japan, and maybe even on the way back, getting one of those really fancy, like where those fancy seats on the plane where it looks like it's practically a bedroom. Do that. Make a whole big ass trip out of it.
That would be really nice. You know what you should really look at? And they got Airbnbs for them. I call him my father-in-law because we've been together long enough that I might as well call him my father-in-law. He's helped me out enough. But he sells covered wagons. Covered wagons, but they're like decked out covered wagons. Really? That like the Pilgrims used to have.
Yeah.
They have like TV. They're big. Have like TV, nice bed, nice all this. If you're ever taking a trip and you have a chance, because he sells them to a lot of people that do like the Airbnbs or like you're staying and want to have a cot, like places like Oregon, things like that. It is so nice. I went in one of them. I've seen the pictures and all of them. They are so like nice and put together. It's like a little like mini apartment, and they have more space than you would think. They I they are really nice. I went in one. I was like, damn. I'd say like 3 weeks in here. At some point, I need to go back to my home. But damn, these are nice.
That sounds fun. I gotta admit,
Yeah,
that sounds like a good time.
yeah.
All right, now with the name of a show like I have, I feel like I have to ask this one: favorite drink, alcoholic or otherwise, or hell, both if you want to.
Old fashioned.
Old fashioned. I've had me a couple of good ones of those. Tasty.
I've never met somebody who makes it better than me because I like my old fashions, and that's kind of my go to. I bartend as my other venture, but an old fashioned to me is like one of those drinks that like it's so funny because people argue about, oh well, this is a traditional old fashioned, or this is how you traditionally make it. I'm just like, I don't really give a fuck about that. I want to see how you make it. Like if you ever want to get a bartender like to like actually work or like, try something different, tell them I want an old fashioned, but I want it how you would make it. Not how the recipe is for the bar here. I want it how you would make it. And you'll see like how personalized it is. How like some people put the cherry juice up in there. How some people, will shake it instead of stir it, which I don't agree with. But it's nice to have because it's just different. That and an espresso martini, both of those are ones that I'm like, yeah, just make it how you want to make it. Because I want it to like I want to see what my bartender is doing. I want to
Oh
see,
yeah.
you put this personal flavor on it. Because I might come back just so I can get your old fashioned. I want your experience.
That personal touch to it. That I like that.
Yep.
Definitely interesting to get them that way. Now, best advice you have for anybody wanting to get into wrestling?
Get comfortable with yourself. Because you have to have really thick skin to do what we do. You
Yeah.
have to have really thick skin. Because guess what? If you're a good guy and they don't cheer you, it'll hurt your ego. If you're a bad guy and they say all these negative things about you, it'll still hurt your ego. Know who you are, know what you want to do, and just work. Just
Hmm?
work. Because if
Oh,
you work hard in this business, the right people will see you and
yeah.
they'll put you on the bigger, better things every time.
Oh, yeah. And I'd like to think, definitely still being able to have a thick skin, but realizing when uh, when you're playing the heel, you're playing the bad guy, and if people are saying that stuff about you, it'd be like just try to keep it in mind, like you know, I'm doing my damn job. They're
Yeah.
hating the shit out of me right now.
Well, that's why I can't be a good guy. That's why I can't be a good guy because, truth be told, I can't walk into a room and think to myself, man, I want all these people to like me. Because I don't give a fuck if you like me. I don't give a fuck if you like the other guy more than me. Because I'm going to beat his ass. So what do I care? Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I'm not there to have you like me. I'm here to beat
yeah.
somebody up and get paid and go home. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
No,
like
yeah.
so it's definitely having that mindset of like being okay with like, yeah, these fans are fucking stupid and cheering for the wrong guy. Because even though I said fuck you 5 times, they should have been cheering my name. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
okay. It's okay.
Oh yeah. All right. So that is about all I got. But before we go, where can people find you social media wise so if they don't already have their eyes on you, they can go ahead and get them there.
Oh yeah, get your eyes on me. Get your eyes on me. I want more eyes on me. So Instagram at Diamond_Marco _Hendrixx XXX triple X because
Yeah.
a little explicit there. Yeah, you already know. And then Facebook at Marco Hendrixx is the place to find Big Daddy Diamond.
It kind of cut out there a little bit. So Facebook was what again?
Facebook is always gotta make sure Marco Hendrixx XXX because explicit still. Yep.
All right.
If you want to find the Big Daddy Diamond, those are the places to find them.
All righty. Get all that in the description. Oh, like I said, that is about all I have. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me tonight. It was an absolute pleasure, and you're welcome back anytime.
Hell yeah! Thank you for having me, big man. I love drinking at Moe's. You feel me?
Yeah.
It was a good time.
All right.
Yes, sir. You have a blessed day, sir.
You too. I have my issue with the goddamn